Hello everyone, I am the Dork in the Road, and I'm here to tell you that while the Honda CRF250L is an amazing all-around bike, there is one thing it's kind of terrible at. That's right everyone, I am the Dork in the Road and I want to be your internet riding buddy. And I'm better than your regular riding buddies because I'm available whenever you want, and I come with a mute button. So please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on those notifications so that you know when I post awesome new content just like this. So yes, I am a CRF250L owner. It was my first dual sport bike. I've spent a lot of time riding it, put thousands of miles on and off the road on my CRF, and it is a motorcycle that I love. That is a fantastic all-around bike. Great bike for new riders to learn on, very capable, honestly easy to ride, more comfortable than you'd expect, and surprisingly good in almost any situation. The Honda CRF250L is a fantastic bulletproof motorcycle that is forgiving enough for new riders and capable enough to grow with you and take you basically anywhere a highway or forest road might lead. It's a great choice for a multitude of situations, but there is one area that I've discovered where it does not excel, and that is trail riding. To clarify, I think there's some disagreement or confusion, depending on who you ask, about what constitutes a trail. So when I say trail, I mean single track or double track, purpose-built OHV off-road trails, often in an OHV that's off-highway vehicle area, so purpose-built trails for trail riding, or trails that have kind of evolved over the years for motorcyclists cutting their way through certain parts of the forest, the woods, the badlands, whatever. What I'm not talking about is forest roads, fire roads, no matter how abandoned. So if it's an old two-track road, was at one point leveled out so that log trucks or something could drive on it, that's not the type of riding that I'm talking about. A CRF250L is actually great on logging roads, forest roads, even old abandoned roads. But on trails, not so much. Trails, in my sense, are technical narrow, filled with switchbacks and ruts, and require a more capable vehicle than any purpose-built road. So, just the other day, McLovin and I decided to head out to Shotgun Creek, which is our local OHV area, and I decided to take the CRF250L for old time's sake, and because I've been spending a lot of time trail riding on my DRZ 400, and a lot of people have asked if the skills that I've kind of built up over the last summer would translate back to the CRF. If I got back on the CRF, would I find it more capable and easier to ride in those situations now that I was a little better at riding overall? So I wanted to find out. So we took the bikes out to Shotgun Creek. I assumed that would be the case, that I would find the CRF250L much easier to ride. I would have a lot better time and do a lot better on the same trails that I learned on initially. So I started on the trails at Shotgun Creek. It was the very first place I ever did any trail riding, and a place we went back to multiple times, and I had quite a few, shall we say, less than ideal experiences dropping my bike back on the stock tires and things, but it's a reason why I didn't really love Shotgun Creek from the beginning, and honestly, those bad experiences really shaped my thoughts and ideas and opinions about trail riding in general, and it wasn't my favorite. I didn't really enjoy it that much in the beginning. So we got back out on the trails, and I just really felt like I was fighting the CRF in a way that I do not fight the DRZ. It feels weirdly top heavy, and that's weird because it weighs about the same as the DRZ. They're a pound or two apart is all. The throttle has a weird lag or hesitation. Maybe that's just my bike, I don't know, but it's overall a lot less smooth than the DRZ is that I've become accustomed to. It's way less responsive, and it's way less torquey down low, and I think as a beginning or intermediate rider, you kind of need that instant torque just to get you out of trouble. The CRF can do a lot of the same things as the DRZ, but you need to prepare a little bit better. You need to make sure that you have speed and momentum when you come across a hill climb or a crazy obstacle, and with the DRZ, you can just twist the throttle and you have it right then instantly. So it is a little limiting in terms of throttle response, and the way that it kind of hesitates and lags when you roll on and off is a little bit more herky-jerky and is a confidence crusher, so you got to use the clutch a lot more. That's not a deal breaker, but it's just something to know and another thing to think about. The top heaviness, throttle hesitation, and lack of low-end torque are annoying, but the real deal breaker on the CRF in a trail riding situation is the suspension. The front suspension is not adjustable at all. The rear suspension is preload only adjustable. The front is squishy. I've talked about this before. It dives under heavy braking, deflects off of obstacles in weird ways, and bottoms out all the time. All of that combines to feel like a bike that is not helping you on the trails. It's a hindrance. You're fighting it as you're trying to ride over technical obstacles and navigate routes and ruts and all of those things. So it's just it's just less easy to ride in a trail riding situation than a lot of other motorcycles, even other dual sports, from what I can tell. So I can hear your counter arguments already. I can hear them. You're already typing it in the comments right now. You're like, but Attention Deficit used to ride the crap out of his 250L and he did just fine. And my response to that is, I can drive a nail with a rock, but I'd rather have a hammer. I'm in no way saying that the bike is incapable of being ridden on trails. So if that's what you're hearing, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's more difficult and less intuitive in a trail riding situation than some other bikes might be. Now that's always true. It's a sliding scale, but I think the CRF250L hurt my progress as a new rider. It caused me to build bad habits, and I was fighting it. It really hurt my confidence on the trails, and when you're riding off-road, confidence is basically it. That's it. That's the one skill that trumps all others. And so if you don't have it because you don't trust your machine or you feel like you're fighting it or it's fighting you, then it's really hard to build that confidence. So yes, Attention Deficit is a fantastic rider, and yes, a good rider can squeeze a lot out of a motorcycle that's less than perfect. But a new rider doesn't have that skill. An intermediate rider doesn't have that skill. For a new or intermediate rider, bike choice makes a big difference. Yes, it's not the bike, it's the rider, unless the rider doesn't have the skill to compensate for the limitations of the motorcycle. And I think that most people who buy Honda CRF250Ls are on the beginner to intermediate range, or they're not interested in this type of riding, and that's okay. It's just not a great bike for trail riding. That doesn't make it a bad motorcycle. That just means it's not well equipped for every single off-road situation. My other response to the "but Attention Deficit can do it" or has done it is, what's Tanner riding now? Yeah, he's moved on to a 250 KTM two-stroke. Eventually it becomes limiting, even for great riders. You just don't see a lot of hardcore off-road riders riding CRF 250Ls unless they're heavily modified. And that's the other response that you're probably typing or thinking about typing. Sure, if you upgrade the suspension, it's great. Yeah. Totally true. Yes, you can put a bunch of money into suspension, intake, fuel controller, but at that point you're in it a couple $1,000s more, and why didn't you just get a better bike in the first place, right? So I understand that argument that yes, almost any motorcycle can be made more capable with enough modifications. Jake the Garden Snake just converted a FZ07 into an adventure bike, right? Like, it can be done, but why? Why not just buy the bike that does what you need it to do from the beginning, rather than trying to make a bike more capable in a situation it was never designed for, you know? The CRF250L, like I said, it's a great beginner bike and an all-around bulletproof workhorse for most types of on and off-road riding. Don't hear me saying the things I'm saying right now and hear the CRF250L sucks. I'm not saying that, even though that was actually the title of this video. It's just not a great trail bike. So if you are the type of rider that's going to spend your time on forest roads, some highway, you know, kind of exploring some light off-roading, maybe even doing some moto camping, hauling gear into the backcountry, it can do all of those things. But if you really want to get out and rip on OHV trails and do hill climbs and take on technical obstacles and, you know, try to leap up and down small drops, it's just not a great bike for that, and it's not supposed to be. Like, it's no dig on the motorcycle, it's just not what it's designed for, you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to dig a hole with a spoon. Yeah, you can do it, but I'd rather have a shovel, you know what I mean? That is the one area in which the CRF250L is lacking in my experience. Not a great trail bike. Some of you might disagree, that's fine. I'd love to hear about your experiences, leave them in the comments. If you have thoughts or feelings about this particular opinion, that's fine. Leave them in the comments. Love to hear them and talk to you about them. But that's kind of my experience. So if you're a new rider looking for an all-around dual sport and you definitely want to ride trails, I would think about maybe a WR250R or a DRZ or something else. That's the direction I would point you in if you want to do more trail riding but still have street riding capabilities. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Like if you agree, like if you disagree. That just you know, really is the best way to express your hatred for my opinion, is to hit that like button. Just do it like angrily. But for now, and as always, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you, and please do not forget to be excellent to each other. Thank you.
Excellent!